This is the 21st season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning, and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. Jam-packed show for today. We got a lot going on in the world of professional bass fishing. We got Miles Burghoff back on the show, and then I got a call last week from a very excited Mark Jeffries. Well, I got a call earlier in the week from Mark Jeffries, who was up in Maine. Believe it or not, Mark was on a family vacation with his wife, which I didn't know Mark could relax enough to take a multiple day vacation that did not involve some sort of recruiting for the SNU bowling program at this point. But Carolyn talked him into heading up to the lovely state of Maine, which is also a little bit of a bummer for Mark because ever since his fall a number of years ago, he has not had any taste buds. So it has always just been a eating for sustenance, not for flavor and enjoyment. And he was up in the land of lobster and melted butter. So they were getting all these lobster tails and he could taste them. But we'll talk to Mark. Mark's going to be on in the second half of the show about that. But one of the things that he was really pumped out earlier in the week was one of the BTL listeners, when Mark had done, I think, one of his Mark After Dark rants or on one of the shows or whatever, he was like, hey, I want to go fishing when I'm up in Maine. Is there any good fishing? And he had set it up for Friday to go fishing, and then it was supposed to rain. But then Friday, I get all these pictures and videos of him just smashing gigantic northern strain largemouth out of lily pads in Maine. And then he said, I got to get on the show to talk about this. So we're all about good fishing stories. So we're going to have Mark on to talk about a good fishing story in the second half of the show. The Johnstons are pretty good on Thousand Islands. If you guys haven't figured that out, whether it's the lake or the river, you had on the bait fuel fishing tour, Thousand Islands open. I think you had Corey Johnston. I think he fished it with his dad, 20K. They won that one. Now that off limits is, I believe, this is the way I understand it. I haven't seen the list for who's fishing the opens this year, but I think that cutoff for the lake is out of bounds for the Open. So Corey fished the Thousand Islands Opens, wins $20K with his dad in the 3-day tournament. Now he's fishing the Open this week. Meanwhile, his brother Chris, who could only fish the river, decided to fish the MLF Invitational. Won at with scope, without scope, with the combination. It doesn't matter. You just put him on the river and he wins. Wins $80,000 on that. So 2 different tournaments, one out of the lake, one out of the river. The Johnstons win over $100K in cash and prizes. And now I think Corey's going to go beat up on everybody in the Open this week. So that'll be very interesting. Let's bring in today's guest, Miles Burghoff. It must be nice to be that dominant on a body of water where you launch your boat and you know that everybody else is fishing for second.
Never felt that way before.
You've never had never had a fishery that you've been so dialed in, even if it's like a Tuesday or Wednesday nighter or a local where you're like, these guys don't, we're only going to beat ourselves.
There was a time on Okeechobee where I figured I would get a check. Every time I'd go out to fish the BFLs or back then it was like Strens and Costas and stuff.
Ever starts.
Yeah. And so it was, there was that time back then when I was going to college down in Florida, I felt really good on Okeechobee, but I was always the type of person that I was like, I never wanted to fish one fishery too much and get too used to that. And like, I fished like 8 different divisions of the BFLs over the years. And so I never got dialed in on one fishery, but Okeechobee would be the closest for sure.
It must be an awesome feeling, like at that high level.
Oh, dude.
So I fish with Cranford in some Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night jackpots, and we've had little stretches where like we know we've got a group of 4 to 6 pounders that are offshore that no one else is fishing for. And like, we're going to have 3 for 15, right?
Yeah.
Like we just know that. Now, the most cocky we've ever been is when we had 3 for 15.5 culling 4s, put the boat on the trailer, get everything ready. Classic boat ramp. Guy comes up, you guys catch him, and you do just the solid, yeah. Yeah, we did. You're begging someone to ask you got him? Yeah, we got him. And it turns out 2 kids just had like a banner night, caught a 6-8 and beat us with like 3 for 16. And we got second. Geez. And we were just like giggling because we were like, we literally couldn't catch him any better than that. But dude, like think about this. So you fish Thousand Islands a lot. Like the hardest type of tournament to separate yourself from the field in my opinion, is a multiple day smallmouth tournament on pick your poison. Yeah. Erie, Thousand Islands, St. Clair, Ontario, Michigan, any of those. Like the smallmouth tournaments, you do not see runaway victories. No, you don't. I mean, how dominant they are on that river system and the lake it's just insane, Yeah. It's pretty wild to watch them fish out there. I mean, they have it dialed in as far as like the 5+ pounders like I've never seen before. He went 25-12, 25.
I know. I looked at it today. It was wild.
The crazy thing about that is, so it was river only, right? I don't think they could go out in the lake. And one day was with forward facing, one day was without forward facing. And he says, he'll say that, hold my beer, 25-12, 25-12. And then on the final day, 24-9, he wins by 7.5 pounds. 7.5 pounds on a 3-day tournament out of the river. Dominant.
Yeah, it's wild.
One brothers winning the Thousand Islands Open for 20K. Corey, your TV guy, you had Sweetwater for, how long did you and Joey do that for? 10 years?
It was like, all right, so 2014. So it was, what was it? 6, 7, 8. It was like 8 years, maybe 9 years.
Guy that finished in the top. Is such a cool story. Every once in a while, the fishing gods are just like, okay, we'll we'll give you a cool story. And Shaw Grigsby being in the top 10 going into the final day. I say that because the One More Cast, synonymous with being an angler and having a long-running TV show. Your thoughts on Shaw Grigsby, any stories, interaction? I know he announced, kind of did it last minute, kind of was like, hey, I'm fishing this. Oh, yeah, and it's also going to be my last one. Press release came out right before, and then he goes and makes the final day.
Dude, I was just talking to Shaw quite a bit at ICAST. We were in the Seagar booth and talking. I had no idea that he was about to retire. And Shaw is, he's been one of the kindest guys to me. I mean, the only story I've really got of Shaw was my first experience going to my first Bassmaster Classic. It was the one that Luke Clausen won down on the Kissimmee chain. And I remember walking in with my dad, into that convention center, and Shaw Grigsby was the very first person right there, very first pro that I bumped into. And I literally, my jaw dropped and I could not get a word out. And he's just, he notices that, I'm just sitting there in awe of like one of my heroes. And, he's trying to like break the ice a little bit. And I still couldn't, I don't remember if I said anything to him, but I was just so awestruck of, seeing Shaw Grigsby. He's not only a legend of the sport and has done so much for the sport, but he does it in a way that he's just one of the nicest guys I've ever met on, in professional fishing, period. I mean, for him to keep, his character throughout all these years, is real special. So he's a special guy. I'm going to raise my cup to him because, man, what a legend.
Well said, Miles. 9 wins, almost $2.5 million in earnings, 64 top 10s. I'm similar like that, like from early on working with Mark at the Bass Zone, covering the tournaments. I mean, I'm literally just a intern, like a kid, like a low young 20s kid or whatever. And Shaw has always went out of his way to make you feel special, look you in the eye, put his hand on your shoulder. Like you felt like he was genuinely interested. I mean, he's still here. He's going to go alligator hunt with his kid, I think is what it's a bad day to be an alligator, but just from retiring at that top level, he is the consummate professional. I remember he kind of also like entered the realm of badass. Remember those Trocar ads that they had where there was all like the black and white with like Shaw Grigsby looking with the mustache and stuff.
Yep.
That's what's cool about. Well, it's a double-edged sword there, and I don't know if we might not get into it, but that's what's cool about that is the longevity of the sport and the history and the icons that you're able to make and fish at a top level, and then have Shaw Grigsby go out, on that final day and get that full 3 days on the St. Lawrence on a body of water that, just historically like this, he hasn't crushed them at the St. Lawrence. That was like the fishing gods kind of looking down and saying, all right, here's your last ride, Shaw.
Yeah, I saw a couple clips of him just netting some just absolute toads. And I was so stoked for him, man. So stoked.
So it'll be interesting. I'm going to try to get him on also.
Perfect.
Later this week or next week. Also, one of the most dominant angler of the year runs. Like early in the year, it looked like Drew Gill was going to top 10 absolutely everything. He slowed down and just started top 20ing everything. But Banks Shaw, if you look at the standings here, like one of the most dominant years that we've seen he came out of nowhere, dude. Like he wasn't on my radar. Like he wasn't on my radar. He really wasn't. Like I'm looking at his stats right here and young kid, not really on the radar, in the Toyotas, fished a few Toyotas, a few of that. But then like he goes, I don't know if this has ever been done before. 4th, 1st, 8th, 9th, 3rd.
So I got a Bank Shaw, just a real quick story. So I participated in that Carl Jacobson lake cleanup event just recently, and there was some, because Banks is from this area, and there was some, team captains from the local high school, and they reminded me, I had no idea, but I actually spoke to the class that Banks Shaw was part of, about what was it, 2019, and I had no clue that he was part of that, so I guess I rubbed off on him a little bit. But what was really cool to hear, because there's a lot of talk nowadays about this young angler group not being able to catch them, without the technology that we have today. But and hopefully I can share this, but it was one of those team captains told me that Banks put on about 600 hours in 9 months on his boat. That is the level of dedication that you just cannot, you just
doing this math.
Yeah. That is a tremendous amount of time, not only on the water, but idling behind the wheel. And so that really opened my eyes to like, okay, he really deserves, everything that, he obviously deserves it. He's worked hard for it, but that just kind of illustrated, how much time he's put on the water, which is what you have to do nowadays. You've always had to do it, really,
Wow, that's insane.
It's an insane amount. That was the story that I was told, and I was like blown away.
Dude, I don't have 600. I think I have 600 hours combined on my last 3 Bass Cats.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. I usually like last year. Well, last year was a wash. We weren't really fishing any tournaments. In fact, most of the time I never even turned on my big engine, my Mercury. I only got on plane maybe a dozen times, while we were at St. Jude.
Well, that's not fair, because you had Mark Rose's hog factory. You could just dump the boat and start catching 7-pounders at will. Sorry, was that public?
That place.
I didn't know if that was public. I maybe not should have said that.
I don't know, but yeah, I miss that place so much. When I'm trying to create all this content for my YouTube channel, I'm trying to do like a video a day, and it's like, trying to get fish catches in the middle of July on the Tennessee River. It's kind of difficult.
Dude, I didn't realize this. So 4th, 1st, 8th, 9th, 3rd. That was his invitationals. He wins the Angler of the Year in that. Then he also fishes the Toyota Series Central Division, finishes 9th, 8th, and 4th, wins the Angler of the Year in the Central Divisions. Then he also jackpotted a Choo Choo BFL, finished 8th in that. Jackpotted Mississippi Division on Pickwick, finished 4th in that. Fished 2 Abu Garcia College fishing, won the one on Barkley. Like, every single time he has launched his boat in collegiate, BFLs, Toyotas, and invitationals, he has top 10 literally every single tournament this year, regardless of whether it's 50 boats or 250 boats, except for February 14th on Lake Seminole, where he finished 63rd in a collegiate tournament.
Yeah. It's
how
wild.
Does that even happen?
It's wild. So what I kind of attribute it to is, and this is, obviously still a controversial subject that we talk about. It's not just forward facing sonar, right? For this young, just, I'll call them elite class of anglers that we've got out there right now, whether they're fishing, the Bassmaster side or the Major League Fishing side. I think it's because if you match like the amount of time that they have at that age to go out on the water, like you and I don't know about your history, but I would assume it's similar to mine, where I spent, if I only spent 5 days a week on the water, that was a slow week. Like I spent 5 to 7 days out on the water. I waited tables at Red Lobster at night, and took online classes.
Feast. Oh, the Admiral's Feast.
I spent the only money I had on a computer that had like the first like wireless internet thing that you plug into your USB, and I'd be out there shiner fishing by Big Toho Marina, watching my classes, and so it was just like that level of dedication. But you pair that with the instant feedback that you get with the technology that we've got nowadays. So like back in the day, if I was trying to find those shell beds out there on like Toho, and I'm throwing a lipless crankbait around, I didn't know that there was a fish or several fish that came up, swiped at it, didn't like the color.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can see, what's happening and how those fish are reacting, and you just get so much sharper, so much faster. So I'm I I know that the talk is that these younger anglers can't perform without the technology, but I think they're at the point now where they've just learned so much, in over the last like 8 years probably would be a good average since they started in freshmen in high school. I think they're at the point now where they can do a lot of things, and we're not giving them as much credit, So yeah,
I'm leaving some guys out, but right now my top three wizards, top three wizards. And I know there's guys that have won on other stuff, but this is my top three right now. Easton, Fothergill, Bank, Sean, Drew Gill, the under 25 guys that you want no part of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those guys are hard to beat.
Like I said, I could name 5 other guys, but I'm just talking about. That's just off the top of my head like that.
And there's some of the new generation that they're real heavy on technology. So if you took that away, it would be kind of difficult.
This isn't a tour where it's one day with, one day without. He top 10'd everything, right, fishing with scope half of the days.
Exactly.
It's not like.
My tune has changed over the last year. It really has. And hearing that about Banks and how much time he puts on the water, that was a big kind of shift for me where I was like, okay, I got to rethink, my thought process behind, what is making these younger anglers so good. And so.
I mean, in a third of the tournaments, he had heavier weight on the day without scope than he did with it. I mean, one of them was Smith Lake. He had 15-11 on the no scope day. On Hartwell, he had 15-12 on the no scope day.
Yeah, totally. They deserve it. I mean, they've guys like Banks have been out there and they're doing their work. And nowadays I think it's just, you can get to that point where you're at your peak a lot faster with technology. Yeah. That's the one thing I will say about it is, good or bad, you get there a lot faster if you put in the time.
How old are you now?
I'm 39. And
I mean, we're like right there. 50s. I'm 40, but do you feel like the sport is not because of one thing or another? It might be, but it just seems, I don't know if it's because I'm the same age as you now, but it seems like it is 1,000%. I like literally sat on the couch with no TV on and thought this through my head for like hours the other day. And I like came out of it and I was like, I need to do a show about this but it's definitely trending younger.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, that's by design, right? I mean, in the late, it was like what, 2000, I think 2008-ish was when things really started getting pretty hot and heavy in the college fishing, and then the high school fishing got really strong. Because like when I graduated high school, there's no way I would mention that I wanted to be a professional fisherman. It was so not a cool thing to do. So I was like, nobody's going to know about this. I'm just going to, move out east and start fishing tournaments. But nowadays it is the cool thing to do. And so it is definitely something that is trending younger for sure.
So here's where my mind went with this. So this is a young sport, right? I mean, we got guys that have been around since the beginning. There's guys that remember going up in the damn plane with Ray Scott when he said, hey, we're going to Lake Mead. So you think back. So like, I think of like baseball back in the late days, like the guys smoking cigarettes, drinking, look at the age of the pitchers and like what Babe Ruth was doing and all that. Newer sport, right? It wasn't. Yeah. I think of hockey. I think of, Gordie Howe playing until he was 60, which is an abnormality, but you look at how they took care of their bodies and they were older dudes that were able to do it because it wasn't as refined. I think Now you look at it and it's like, dude, if you're not like recognized by the time you're 12 or 13, like playing
Right.
AAA or juniors or Shaddix or something like that, like you're not getting drafted. Same thing in all the other sports. Are we just seeing that in fishing, where we're seeing more guys that are taking it seriously, younger, developing it because the sport is now maturing and getting older?
Mm-hmm.
And this has nothing to do with the technology and taking the skill out of it. It just has to do with, as the sport matures and more avenues become available to specialize in it younger, while the mind is molding and learning and doing things. We're just seeing that in fishing, just like we are to where, it used to be, you drink your 6-pack, you go out, you flip bushes all day. And now it's evolving just like that top level of all other sports have evolved over time.
Yeah. I kind of take a different take to it a little bit. And I do think that this sport, so like the trend, like this sport is so complicated, chasing after these animals in different environments that are constantly changing. And it is so crazy how difficult it is to get it figured out to where you can start recognizing things. And I think technology definitely has accelerated the the learning curve, for people. And when you match the amount of time that you have available, because you don't have kids, you probably don't even have a girlfriend, and you could focus on fishing. When you match that with, getting instant feedback with technology, good or bad, however you look at it, I think that that's kind of like what's excelling, a lot of these younger classes. Because like back in the day, I had that time and I knew every single name of every guy that was around my age group that was doing well, because I used that as motivation. So it was like, when those guys that were in their 20s, just like I was, were doing good, they had a target on their back for me. I'm like, I gotta figure out how to, keep pushing the limits here and do better and better. So I do think that technology has a pretty heavy hand in it. Again,
Okay.
it's not, I don't think it's necessarily a negative. The one thing that I kind of worry about is when you look at somebody like Shaw Grigsby, he had years of, when he's grinding, and this goes for pretty much all the big personalities that we grew up with in the sport. He had years when he was still figuring it out to kind of also build his personal brand and start, learning the business side. And so the only thing I worry about is if we have a younger generation that kind of skips that portion of it, hopefully we can maintain, have those personalities that we know and love, and that kind of, brings the excitement. I'm not saying that that's not happening right now, but it's definitely something I've thought about. I'm like, hopefully we still have that kind of personal brand building that we had. You think about like Skeet Reese or, Kevin Van Dam, Ike and Ellie, all those guys,
I don't know if do you ever get on Bass Fishing Archives?
No. Is that
I think Terry Battisti still runs it. It's literally like the most badass website of everything old school. So you bring that up. So when Shaw kind of had his breakout, his famous, it was in, and we've had him on to talk about this. We did a whole series probably 5-6 years ago about how the All-American launched so many careers. And they still have the All-American. It's not nearly, it's still very prestigious. I don't want to take anything away from the guys who have won it in the last couple of years. It's not the career maker that it was when I even first started covering this in the mid 2000s. But this is Shaw in 1984, November 1984. He won that All-American. It was $100,000, which ironically, 40 years later, it's still $100,000. It might even be 50 now. But he was 20. How old was he? 28 years old. 28 years old, and that was his kind of breakout. And he was known as like one of the youngest guys. So that launched his career, and he was almost 30. You're talking about these guys here, I mean, are winning these tournaments a full decade before this.
Right.
It's unbelievable. It's really cool. His baits, chrome devil's horse, a 7-inch bass assassin worm, black body with a blue glitter tail, a chrome blackback Bagley's killer bee, a grape fire tire peewee worm, a gable green Bill Lewis rattle trap, and a large all black jelly worm. That's what got the job done for Shaw in Florida.
Oh man, that's pretty sweet. That's got to be Okeechobee, right? What is that?
Heavily favored, local 7. He moved to Kissimmee.
It's Kissimmee, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting. Where are you at career-wise, fishing-wise? I mean, I know you're still in the tournaments. I thought you were going to win on Kentucky there a couple months back.
Yeah,
we were rooming together, but we got one left on Leech. What's your vibe?
So I'm chomping at the bit to really get back into it. This year was kind of a transition year. Kind of we're trying to figure things out with getting back to normal life, coming back from St. Jude and all that. So I didn't want to like go deep into like a full tournament schedule, because it's like Katie got a full-time job, so she's working 5 days a week now, and so we needed a little bit of a transition time. But I think 2026 is going to be a big year, for me tournament fishing wise. I really want to get back out and be competitive again, man. I just have that competitive drive, and I just haven't had the time to stay as sharp as I'd like, and so Riley's going back to daycare right now. Which is, I thought it was going to be great, but it just essentially she's just getting sick every week. Last week we got back from ICAST, and I'm like, yes, I get to go fishing, and she got some stomach bug, and so I had to stay home with her all week. And then she got pink eye. I thought I was going to show up on BTL this morning with pink eye, but ended up dodging that.
What I was looking, I was about to make funny as to say you need to keep closer look at your closer watch on your pillow, but I mean your eyes look fine.
I wanted, other than the fact that now I've got some kind of virus, so like I'm under the weather a little bit. I can feel it starting to come on, and so it's just like never ending. Like this morning, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm starting to get sick again, because I was sick right before ICAST, and so it's been hard to get on the water, but we're gonna find a good flow here and good routine where I can be on the water 3 to 4 days a week, and that's the goal, is to stay out there and stay sharp. But next year is going to be a big year. I want to get out there and really just pour some fuel on it, because this year, to be honest, it's been really hard for me to like get in that competitive zone to where like I was like, I have to do well, I have to figure this out. So I gotta build up that I feel like I'm at that point now where I'm like, okay, let's take this back up to the next level again. So I mean the desire and the drive is there. We're just kind of working through our new normal here at home. So
health wise though on Riley, everything's good to go.
Everything's great. So yeah, minus the pink eye and a crazy stomach virus that was pretty horrifying. It was really bad. I've been there. But anyways, she's doing great. We had scans right before we went to ICAST. That obviously my trip to ICAST was contingent upon those scans. We had a little bit of a scare. A lot of people probably watched the update video on YouTube, but she had like one number in a blood lab the first day that we got to Memphis that was like 12 times higher than normal. And it can be associated with cancer returning. And so we just assumed that we were back to square one, and had to move back. And the second time, dreading that's like something we're always having to fight ourselves to not think about. But if it returns, it's always a harder journey. So that was a hard week overall, because we put ourselves in that Google, WebMD mode that just sent us down a dark path. But yeah, she ended up like the doctors, you know, when we met with them, they're like, everything looks great. Scans came back normal. And we were like, really? We were so surprised that she had good scans. And so, yeah, long story short, Riley's doing great. And we're just, you know, so ecstatic that we're having these normal kid issues of pink eye. Yeah, and just a million diaper changes a day. Yeah.
You mentioned kind of taking a step back. I know you actually have done some more industry work this year too. Yeah. You got the Pro Guide hat on. You're working with Pro Guide Media, stuff like that. Obviously, really cool connection there through the St. Jude. But press release came out, and I wanted to ask you about this: the Pro Guide batteries Bassmaster Elite Series at La Crosse, which is kind of cool. I know that some of the other companies, AFCO's done one, things like that in the past, but cool to see AFCO getting in the game and supporting. I know it seems like they're just more and more of those Elite Series and MLF guys who continue to run the Pro Guide system on tour.
Yeah. It was really exciting when I heard that. I actually got the news at ICAST, and everybody at Pro Guide has just been so excited because this is a really big year. I mean, you think about, so like the battery game, you know, the battery category has really changed a lot, you know, over the last like 10 years. I mean, you got companies coming out of the woodwork, but you know, Pro Guide's been in this business for 45 years. So, and so it was really cool to number one, jump on board with Pro Guide during their 45th anniversary, but it's been really cool to see them do things like, you know, introduce the new Alpha line of lithium batteries this year, which is just a crazy cool line of lithium batteries, and then for them to do this, you know, be the title sponsor for the La Crosse event. I think it's just some well-deserved, you know, exposure for that brand that has been around for so long.
I should have checked. I guess you're technically my media guy on this. I have a banner here that says capital BTL is a 10% discount on Pro Guide batteries. I have absolutely no idea if that is accurate or still active. If anyone tries that, I know that there's big guys in the past that I've said that to. Like, if that doesn't work, email me, matt@basso.com, and we'll figure out what the actual code is. But as far as what I've got right here, I was checking it. BTL.
We'll figure it out for sure.
So,
but
that, I mean, that was a cool, like I said, you know, you took kind of a step back, understandably, took off last year and then this year to kind of get back into the industry, have Pate an industry to kind of say, hey, we're in it. This is another transition year to where, you know, you'll have, I thought it was a perfect fit, especially with Pate and his family. You spoke at the St. Jude this year with similar experiences. Both have kids who lived in Memphis for a little bit and are now doing well.
Yeah. We Pate was one of the first people that I reached out to when everything went down, and so, you know, our friendship built over those you know, the last year, you know, all that tough time living in Memphis, and so I've been doing a little pro staff, you know, management work and doing some content work with them, and so it's been a great opportunity, and couldn't want to work with a better brand. You know, it's been great.
I think we're going to eat really good at Leech here in a couple weeks here.
Oh yeah.
I think we're going to have the charcoal. I might bring the Traeger. I mean, we're up north. We're in Minnesota. I'm definitely bringing
shout out to Blake.
Lunch. Dude, Blake can cook.
And one of the nicest dudes. Like, I love hanging out with Blake.
Yeah. And he would never ever say it. He acts like he doesn't know how to catch a fish. Dude's won like 3 BFLs, all sorts, pretty much everything in Texas.
Yeah. But man can cook a steak for sure.
Steak. Yeah. And refuses. He has never let beef touch propane. Like,
I know.
if we're
all
doing it,
about
like,
that charcoal.
there is no grill, there's no skillet, there's no propane. It is a charcoal steak, or it is no steak.
He's like the exact opposite of Hank Hill.
Yeah. He and it takes like an hour and a half. Like, he's a coal connoisseur. So it takes like an hour to get the coals down to where he's comfortable putting the steaks on.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Do you want to say hi to Mark before I let you go?
Yes, please. Mark!
What's happening, man?
What's going on, brother?
I'm in the office. I have renewed vigor and enthusiasm from spending 7 days in the state of Maine.
Oh, outstanding.
Maine is off the charts. I mean, that was the last box for me to check. I have now been to all 50 states. And I've had some incredible vacations, including Alaska, Hawaii. But I'm telling you, Miles, Maine is a untapped territory for bass fishing.
I'd like to now
I'm sure.
announce our newest sponsor, Visit Maine, coming from BTL.
Dude.
Use the code Visit Maine to get 10% off your trip to Maine.
I'm not selling anything here. I'm just telling you, man, there are so many bodies of water, and I got a chance to spend one day and go fish, and these fish have never seen lures.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, I mean, you match the fact that they're under ice for so much of the year, and they get no pressure the rest of the year. It's got to be just insane.
Yeah, Matt and I are going to talk about it a little bit, but I had no idea they cannot have large tournaments in Maine. They still have tournaments, but they cannot have large tournaments. Like the largest lake in Maine is Moosehead Lake.
Yeah,
an incredible smallmouth fishery. But the state has said, and I don't remember what the dollar limit is. I think it might be 7,000. But you cannot have a tournament where the prize fund, the number one prize, is over, let's just say $7,000. So that's why there's never been any large tournaments there.
There's been an MLF deal, but I guess that was a cup, wasn't it? With like the smaller.
Yeah, it is a gem, and it was the high all week long that we were there was 74.
Whoa! Yeah, I'm sweating bullets right now.
I know, 74. So I kind of want to let people know, and I appreciate Matt letting me come on. But, dude, instead of sweating your balls off in Texas or Louisiana or Alabama, wherever, being able to fish for 4 hours, you could fish for 14 hours up there in untapped water. It's insane.
That has nothing to do with Maine. That has something just to do with its latitude and longitude, Mark. Straight across the country, it's going to be the same level of daylight. It's not like you get to Maine and they're like, hey, we bought an extra hour of daylight.
Well, come on, man. No, I'm serious.
We're going to get into it. I got pictures. I got stuff. Didn't you spend like a month in Alaska too this year, Miles?
Yeah. Well, no, only 2 weeks this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you did a month.
No, man, it's been a while since I went up there for more than just a couple weeks. I can't do more than that anymore. I just miss the family too much, and it's too much on Katie having to watch Riley. Yeah. But I'm not going to miss opportunities to go up there when I get it because it's too important.
Would have never guessed 5 years ago when Jeffries, remember when Jeffries had the man crush on you, Miles, and you're on the FLW tour. I would never guess now that you have fished, like if we were to say, hey, in 2025, Mark will have done 2 BTLs and Miles will have fished 6 tournament days in the middle of July, I would have been like, wait, what? But here we are.
Yeah, that's exact. Well, you didn't include the St. Jude tournament. We fished 2 days.
Oh yeah,
of those,
2 days of that. Eight
I fished.
Days.
This is the first time I've ever been able to say after 3 opens that I've fished every single day of the opens, which isn't saying much.
Wow.
Because it has only been.
Hey, Miles, one of the things that really opened my eyes is the very first place we went to. it looked like just an incredible mat of grass that you see in Texas or Louisiana or on Gunnersville. And I look down and he's got, a 1 ounce weight with a creature bait tied on, and we start punching.
Oh,
punching
awesome.
In Maine.
Man, I haven't been on a good punching bite in a while. Kills me.
Crazy. Hey, I'm glad
awesome
to hear that things are going better for you too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, they're going great, and just need to have Riley not get these sicknesses every single week from daycare. But that's everybody warned us about it.
Yeah.
Do you know Jeffries is a grandpa?
Ah, congrats.
Yeah, 1 year birthday was last weekend.
Oh,
I think I've got a picture of him holding a baby, which didn't you say, Mark, that I told this to Court and she was shocked and slightly appalled. Is it not true that you told Carolyn, like, they're yours until they're old enough to play sports and then I'll take them?
Well, it wasn't those exact words. I mean, no.
But in a roundabout way.
No, it wasn't. No, not really. No, it was the whole diaper thing. Like Miles, I had 2 sons. I changed 2 diapers.
Oh my gosh!
That's it.
Yeah,
Miles has changed 2 this morning.
Yeah, I've got to go buy more diapers. Not this morning. Katie took care of that, but last week I changed no less than 50 of them. It was horrifying.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fantastic at all.
Yeah, just keep them hydrated when that happens.
Yeah. No, yeah. It was good. It was good, and I did not say that, Matt, exactly on the record, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it. You sent me a picture. You sent me a picture of you with the grandkid on your lap.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Can I show it?
Yeah, I don't care.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
This
Quinn.
Is like the tender side. The tender side of Mark Jeffries.
Yeah, there's a lot of glare. There you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, she's sitting there.
She's sitting there with this monstrosity of a man.
What's her name?
Quinn.
Quinn.
Yep.
I like that name.
Yeah, that's great.
That's your son, Mark, who is he a commercial airline pilot?
Yeah,
commercial airline pilot for Delta.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Hey, I'll say this, Miles. That place is so cool. Like, I get to fly free standby, but it's hard to fly standby sometimes. You always have to get the 5 a.m. flight to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Go from there. I am seriously considering just making weekend trips to Maine to fish. Because it's not like weekends down here.
Right.
You go weekends up there, there's nobody on the lake.
That's wild. I've actually never bass fished in Maine, I don't think.
I
don't think I've ever been. Oh, my gosh. Look how beautiful it is.
Oh, insane.
Look at the pads. So were those largemouth coming up? First of all, Miles, if you're more than welcome to stick around for this conversation. I told you you're on for the first segment. I know you've got a million things to do. So we could either wrap this segment out.
I'm going to let you and Jeffries talk back and forth. I don't want to get in the way of Jeffries.
Well, you wouldn't. You're never in the way.
You're not getting in the way, man.
But I will. I will see you in a week and a half at Leech Lake. Big giant largemouth, big giant smallmouth. I think it might take 100 pounds to win.
Probably
33
will.
a day. I don't see how it doesn't.
This is the one I've been waiting for all year. I'm really excited about Leech. So
catch and release into the grease with the perch and the walleye and the rock bass.
Yeah, we need to coordinate on if we start catching some perch and walleye.
Oh, I've got, like I said, I got the shore lunch and I'll have the Bubba Blade.
Oh, sweet.
And
He's dialed in.
You catch absolute giants up there. There's I don't know if there's a weird slot or anything. I hate like when I go to new states, I'm always scared to like at the Jude, like in the practice day, like I was straight up Babe Winkleman the walleye, but I was scared to box them because I wasn't sure, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, seasons, time of the year, permits, all that. So I didn't box any. But we need to 100% make sure we're dialed on Leech because there's a good chance that we'll have you gotta have like cheeks the size of my wallet. And I'll tell you what, everyone says release the big ones. Walleye genetics are delicious. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. We need to fabricate a deep fryer on the back deck, on one of our
Oh,
seat
I've got
posts.
one I'll bring. I got one
Yeah.
that we can plug into one of the extension cords outside.
Probably dangerous, but yeah.
No.
Oh, you got an electric one.
Yeah, like the one we're
thinking about a
shooting.
propane one that we just stick in the back of
we
the
go
boat. Got to
on the back.
fabricate
Yeah.
some lid. Yeah.
You know what? I need to put that on the wedding list. That'd be a great gift. All right, Miles. I appreciate it.
See you, Miles.
Thank you, guys.
Whoa. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Yeah.
Miles off.
No,
What'd you say?
You're good. I was just saying, great to see you. I'm glad you had a great trip, and yeah, call me if you want to. You want a partner up there to go fish in Maine. I'd love it.
Cool.
All right, I'll see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Miles Burghoff, the one and only. Good dude. Are you still there, Mark?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm looking. Did I send you the picture of me candlestick bowling in Maine?
We gotta take a break.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Oh, I gotta read the comment. This is why we gotta take a break. We gotta pay the bills. There's a comment on the latest show. I don't read comments often, but I gotta read this comment to you when we come back. It's a good one. There's a lot to unpack in it.
Okay.
It's BTL on a Monday. We'll be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
As a professional angler, there's only one thing that connects you to your paycheck. Probably the most crucial part to tournament bass fishing. I use Sunline because they have a line for every application. Shooter, FX2, All Might, super light line, big stuff, big sticks. Sunline has you covered.
Sharp as can be. Super strong, super durable.
Really good penetration.
Thinner and stronger.
Catch fish after fish.
I want to make sure that I'm using the best stuff possible.
World's finest hook.
World's finest hook.
Gamakatsu. World's finest hook.
Pro Bass Adventures is reinventing Mexico bass fishing. With boats equipped with 12-inch Garmin units and LiveScope Plus, free loaner fishing rods, and no-cost airport transportation, Pro Bass Adventures is proudly putting you in the best position for success. Pro Bass Adventures has lodges on Lake Baccarat and Lake El Salto, Mexico's two best trophy largemouth bass lakes. Visit probassadventures.com or email probassadventures@gmail.com. The official Mexico fishing lodge of Bass Talk Live. All right, welcome back, BTL on a Monday. You still don't want to go to Mexico, huh, Mark?
Not yet. Not yet.
You don't want to experience the best topwater. You want to experience 40 pounds on topwater before 7 a.m.
I didn't say that I didn't want to experience topwater. I said I didn't want to go to Mexico.
You, I always forget that you are a finance major who worked in corporate America, so you're very adverse to risk.
Yeah.
Very adverse to risk, which I guess there is an element of risk in that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get trampled by an angry mom moose up in Maine.
I didn't see a moose.
You didn't see a single moose?
No. In fact, the guy that I went out with, his name is Hamilton Gray. Super, super great guy.
You waited way too long to give old Hamilton a shout out. As much as you enjoyed the trip, it's a top 5 trip for you. What was his name? Hamilton Gray? That sounds like a movie name.
He's a cool cat. All right. He's only 24 years old. He's younger
and you met him through BTL.
Yeah. His dad was, I guess, a big-time tournament angler in New England, and his dad is the one that turned him on to BTL. But I didn't get to meet his dad because his dad was in Connecticut, but just a cool dude that knows his stuff and knows that area. I guess it's somewhat difficult to become a licensed guide in the state of Maine. It's a big deal. You got to have all this certification and stuff. I don't exactly know what it takes, but I guess it's a big deal. And there are very, very few smallmouth and largemouth guides in the state of Maine. Very few. And he's got it going on. And
he is a guide.
He's a licensed guide.
What's his name? Hamilton, Hamilton.
Yeah, Gray. His website is Huck Finn Guide Service.
So his dad watches BTL and then called him and said, "Son, you're taking this guy out," or he watches.
He was a fan many years ago, and then his dad told his son about BTL, and he's been listening for a while.
Okay, this has to be it. Huck
That's it.
Finn's Guide Service, established 2022. What does that mean when it says this website takes cookies? Like, I always click accept. Am I supposed? Like, what does that mean?
That's fine. They're just tracking you.
Is that him?
That's him.
What a great head of hair on the kid.
Oh, dude, he's a rock star, and such a nice guy. And he does smallmouth on moosehead. He does largemouth on a number of lakes in Maine. He also does striper guides. He does ice fishing.
He does ice fishing. So if I want to go absolutely whale on some yellow perch in the winter,
he's the man.
He's the man.
Yep, he's the man. And he was telling me stories about black crappie trips that he went on.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any limits on any of the sunfish up in Maine.
Yeah.
I mean, I may be speaking out, but a bunch of guide fish.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's a very reasonable pricing too.
Oh yeah.
Like ridiculously pricing. A full day fly fishing for trout and salmon is $500.
Yeah.
Full day Grand and Belgrade Lake, 500. Moosehead Lake, full day, 700 hours. Lunch provided. Hot lunch options are available.
Yeah. He's got it going on, man. He really does.
All sorts of fishing trips. Winter stripe. Yeah. Very cool. That is Huck, HUCKFINNS Guide Service, GUIDESERVICE. Huck Finn's Guide Service.
So he picked me up at the hotel. This is how our day got started. And we're about, 15, 20 minutes outside of Bangor. Flat tire on the trailer.
Did you change it?
No. But the spare was a little ragged. And the incline that we had to park on was too low for the jack to get underneath.
Single axle or double axle?
Single axle.
Oh, yeah. No, so he had to stop.
Yeah.
Couldn't do like me in Mexico and roll 3 wheels for 400 miles.
And we scrambled to try and find tires. And we found this place out in the middle of nowhere, this massive tire warehouse and tire shop that had 3 of the trailer tires for the size that he needed. And we got delayed, but we eventually made it to the water. And it couldn't have been a better day, man. It was insane.
You said these were all frogfish?
Every single fish we caught was on a frog.
That looks like a big, angry northern strain.
They were, it was violence on the water is what it was.
Did you go 2 days? Oh, no, you just took the sweatshirt off.
Yeah.
So, like, they were in, like, the pads behind it and would just come up and...
They were in the pads. They were in the matted grass. They did have some milfoil there. But the mats were just incredible. I mean, insane.
No other boats.
No other boats. We didn't see. We saw 3 kids in a john boat jumping off the bridge. That was it.
Well,
nobody else fishing.
Very cool.
But you know how I talk about violence on the water? These fish were destroying that frog. And it was pretty epic, too, because when he pulled up, and he had his rods and reels already laying on the deck. You will never guess what reels he's using. Now, he's not sponsored by anybody.
Quantums? Old Quantums?
No.
The old Abu Garcia Revos?
No, but you're right.
Lose?
No.
The green Shimano's.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a long-lasting, just epic style of reel than that when they came out with those original green.
Dang it! I have one that you gave me You gave me a 3.8 to 1 green Dorado.
Yeah.
You physically cannot crank it fast enough to get your wiggle wart to wiggle. It just stays on the surface and goes like this at 3.8 to 1. You have to be like you have to like be going against like the boat in order to get it to wiggle on a 3.8. And then when you catch one, you never catch up with it ever. A 3.8 to 1. I have it somewhere around the office.
That was a Mike McClellan thing from a long time ago.
You think like Mike was throwing a 3.8 to 1?
He's the one that told me about that. Now that was 30 years ago, dude. Long time ago.
That's fair.
Long time ago. Hey, the boat that he was running, it was I think it was a 20 foot aluminum. I think it was
comfortable.
Yeah. Plenty of room, very stable.
Yeah. The further you go up north and stuff like that, the more, a lot of glacial lakes with rock, a lot of rock, like the whole thing is rock.
Yeah.
So you see less fiberglass boats because obviously you put an aluminum on a rock, you're not going to have any damage. Put a fiberglass on a rock, you're getting a new boat.
Yeah.
80-pound
braid. And I got his dad actually makes custom rods. So I brought my reels. I had 80-pound braid on them because he goes, listen, I don't know if we're going to go to Moosehead or if we're going to go punching and frogging. So I brought 2 reels with 80-pound braid and then 2 reels with 10-pound fluorocarbon.
What 80-pound braid are you throwing, Mark? The Sunline SX1?
Yeah.
Okay. There's like, and that's good braid. I know that. You need to get for your frogging applications, you need to switch to that. You can throw that in a 50. It's got a X plasma coating on it.
Huh.
It's the deal for frogging.
Okay.
I've got a bunch here. Like I need to give you a couple spools of that.
Okay.
It can pass twice as far as the 80-pound stuff.
I'm going back. We the plan initially was that we were going to go to Moosehead because 2 days, I think it was 2 days prior to Friday, like on Wednesday, he said they caught a zillion on a spook.
Smallies.
All smallies.
Oh, God.
I know, but it was too windy. It was way too windy. So that's when he made the call. He goes, hey, we're going to go punch in and
better guide move.
But the uniqueness from the perspective of there was no rhyme or reason with the exception of the cover that you showed earlier. In other words, there wasn't like specific characteristics of where the mats were or any correlation between the bank and the mats. They also had rice fields. I don't know if you could see them in that picture.
Wild rice, yeah, that's a big thing up in Minnesota where you can't go into the rice fields until they're harvested and stuff. And the natives go in and they literally like hand it, and then you have the like wild rice. Like you can go to the restaurants by there and have like wild rice that was harvested, wild rice soup that was harvested from that lake.
Yeah. So a lot of times you would throw up in the about 10 feet. 15 feet in the rice fields, and you wouldn't see your frog.
Just hear it.
You just hear it. It was just violence. Violence in the rice is what it was. And then 4-wheel fishing, because once you got them hooked up, and I can't tell you how many we missed or lost. Up there, a 5-pound largemouth, it's like catching an 8-pounder down here. All right. Very rarely will you get a fish over 5 pounds up there. But you're going to catch a lot of fish like the one that you showed. I mean, most of the fish that we caught were between 2 and 4 pounds.
That's a strong fish.
And they do not like being hooked up on a frog. They're doing everything they can to get off that. But he was an incredible guide, and he taught me so much. Did you know this? There are not a single poisonous snake in the state of Maine.
I did know that.
I had no idea. Because when we had the flat tire, he just goes running off into the forest looking for some rocks. I'm like, dude, are you not afraid of like timber rattlers or, whatever poisonous snakes? And it's like, no, there's no poisonous snakes.
Latitude and longitude thing. Did Carolyn? It's just a straight vacation. Like you guys were just going there did Carolyn get to pet any Maine coon cats?
No.
That's what Maine's known for. The Maine coon. No. It's a very large domestic breed of cat that originated in Maine.
No.
That's kind of what they're known for. I figured that might have been one of the main reasons why you guys went. Look at those stickers. They look very well. That one looks pissed off. The rest of them look very pettable. Look how cute they are.
No. Mike wanted to know if we ate blueberries. Yeah, we ate a ton of blueberries. They're really good up there.
Couldn't taste them though.
No. Nice texture.
And the same with the lobster. I was poking a little fun, but I mean, great lobster, like literally roadside lobster trucks. Like everywhere. You would see like a taco truck down at Amistad where you pull over and or down in Mexico where we went. That's literally like people do, like you get a lobster tail and melted butter out of the truck. So
do you have any idea how much money and what is a bad season for a 3-man lobster crew? Any idea what their income is? Bad year. What
are we talking about? Like gross or like what they're profiting?
Gross.
So like one lobster boat, how much gross and money wise in lobster does it bring in?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1.5 million.
No, a bad year is 500,000.
Okay.
All right. A good year is 1.5 million.
I was dead nuts on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good year.
And you split it what? You typically everywhere. 3 guys? 2 or 3 guys per boat?
2 or 3 guys. And dude, those lobster cages were everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You could see the buoys every time we stopped at a coastal place or something like that. There were lobster cages everywhere. And then we went to one place. I got a rock. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Were you legally allowed to take that rock? Mark?
Yes. I was not in an area. They have signs all over the place that says, don't take the rocks.
But there's no sign next to that rock.
No, this was.
It looks like you like chiseled it with a jackhammer.
It was great. So I got the rock. And then the other thing was, you see this?
Yeah, that's I don't know what that is.
That is a candlestick pin. Okay. We were in it.
Hold that up again.
I don't know what town we were in, but we drove by this one building and it said bowling, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. So
did you rent a car?
Yeah. Okay. I had to stop and go in, and it was a candlestick, and I never did the candlestick thing. It's impossible. That's why candlestick bowling.
Is that like fly fishing as opposed to like bass fishing?
No, there's never been a perfect game. Ever.
I'm just saying, is that a fair comparison? Fly fishing is candlestick bowling.
No. It's way no. There's a vast difference between, and I know there's a difference between fly fishing and bass fishing, but no, and it sucked. The balls are only about the size of a shot put. And you get 3 chances, you get 3 shots to knock down all those candle pins, and it's impossible. I bowled like 20 frames, and I never got a spare. I never knocked all the pins down. It sucked. It was now it was vintage. Oh, here you go. Yeah.
There's
This
no
guy
sound.
probably throws gas. Yeah, I never even came close to that.
My God, it's like bocce ball mixed with bowling, mixed with croquet.
It's insane.
It's a bocce ball. Why would you want to do this?
I don't know. Like a good game is 105.
Oh my gosh, that was a hell of a shot. Look at how pumped he is.
Fired up, man.
That other dude's like, yeah, I gotta be kidding me. Look at the dude in the background. Look at the dude's face in the background. He's like, yeah. Look at the dude in the background. Look at that. Just watch right there. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. That's what that guy's thinking. Look at him. Look at that.
The dude that was running the place, that owned the place, his name was Ron. It had been there since 1951. 1951.
He's feeling himself. Watch this. Look at the leg. Watch it. The towel over the shoulder, the arm, the man spreading. Like he knows that he just put the dagger into the heart of.
That's insane.
Watch this. After that, this guy is feeling it. Boom, 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 boom. Slow-mo replay. Bingo.
Yeah, that's incredible. But yeah, there's never been a perfect game in Candlestick Bowl. So it was cool, man. The towns, little small towns were incredible that we went through. But I can remember doing this when I was in my 20s. Every time that you would drive by a pond or a lake or a little stream or something like that, you'd always ask yourself, man, I wonder what it'd be like to fish there. You could have done that 1,000 times on this trip because there's so much water, man.
Some would say you could do it 10,000 times in Minnesota.
Probably. I don't know. That picture, does that, from the water that I've seen in Minnesota, it looks kind of similar.
Yeah, a lot of natural lake, shallow kind of bowl grassy. Like I've never been to Maine. It's on my list. I was a huge fan of 1993. I believe Paul Correa was the year that he was playing for the University of Maine, and they won the NCAA national championships. I was at my buddy's house. His mom let us stay up to watch that national championship, and then I requested a Maine Black Bears hockey jersey, which I then wore in rec league growing up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We didn't see any moose. We didn't see any bear. I saw
loons, lots of loons.
Oh, I saw a loon, man. Those things are insane.
Yeah.
Loud. They sound like coyotes. It's like, what is that? He goes, man, it's a loon. And I turn around and there's this big bird just wailing these noises out. So
I'm apparently at a very, according to Jeb 4836, which I appreciate the comment. It wasn't a hateful comment, but I'm apparently no. This was yesterday. I'm apparently at a very crucial crossroads in my life.
Oh, is this the comment we're going to talk about?
Very crucial crossroads in my life, Mark.
Okay.
I had Cliff Pace on the other day, who absolutely hour and 45-minute show with Cliff Pace. Fantastic interview.
Yeah.
It would shock people. Like if I was to list the top 10 guys I enjoy talking to in the industry, Cliff Pace is in the top 10 on a good day. Now he does have days where he's just not in the mood to talk.
Yeah.
We all have that. I'd much rather have a dude who lets you know right off the hopper, not in the mood to chit chat, than a dude who BS's around with you. Like I've seen him in how'd it go today, Cliff? Not good. Not in a chit chatty mood that day, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, Cliff? Oh man, blah, blah. Chit chatty mood. Anyway, I had Cliff on, and I still don't think people realize that the majority of the views are iTunes, MP3s, Google Play, all that stuff. And we just do the YouTube actually capture the audio. Anyway, long story short, I'll throw this up there. So yesterday I get this. I don't know. 1.7K views. You really need to consider, Matt. Is this your career for life? It's a dying sport. Just seems like it's going bust. You're getting married. Get a real job with a good income. I mean,
wow.
Jeb 4836 just
Did you respond?
No, I didn't respond. I don't feel like there was any ill intention. I actually appreciate that he was concerned about my future, my family, the whole 9 yards coming down the road.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah. It definitely wouldn't want to respond off the cuff on that one.
I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
I will agree
that's
with
fun.
Jeb. I mean, it is a real job, doesn't feel like a real job. And it's good income, but there's also a lot of, as you would say back in the day, goes outas.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the goes outas are for like stuff that I enjoy doing, which is being a part of the industry, doing fishing trips, going to do stuff for the show, spending money on stuff for bass fishing. Anyway.
The guy doesn't obviously know the history and what has been created from, well over 30 years ago to get to the point that you're at today.
Uh-oh. It's
can you hey, off of the top of your brain, can you think about any media outlets, if that's what you want to call them, that were around for like 1 or 2 years and then they were gone?
I don't know. There's a bunch that have come and gone, but I mean, like, more power to you guys who come in and try to do stuff. Like, I've always been good. Like, people have asked, what do you think? All these new podcasts coming out and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for it because like there's a billion different TV channels for it, but be dedicated to your craft, learn it, be consistent with it, which requires sacrifice, and have original content. Don't do a show for the sake of doing a show, or don't do a show just to make money. Do a show because you feel like there's a need for it. You look at it, it does not exist in the industry, and then go out there and get it. Like, I'm all for helping those guys and like working with those guys. I listen to those shows. It's either the leeching or the obvious attempted money grab, which doesn't last because like you have to be around forever.
Yeah.
So
hey, that one comment is BTL older.
Bass Fan was around before BTL,
but not before the Bass Zone.
Everything kind of came around on the same. Was that true? Like, when you started it, you were an early adopter of the. I've never actually talked about this on air. You might not want. Well, screw it. It's 25 years ago. Who gives a shit?
That was more than that.
The story I always tell guys is that you understood the internet, understood where it was going, wanted to get into the game. You obviously started the fishok.com website that was basically a schedule for Oklahoma. But for lack of a better term, I don't know if that's legal to say that. You commandeered their websites like before anyone had websites. And when they went to go get like XYZ baits, it's like Mark Jeffries owns XYZ baits. So then they contact.
You mean the domain?
The domain.
Yeah.
That's actually how it happened. That's not like an urban legend.
No, that did happen. Like, nobody wanted their domain. Nobody even thought about it in the fishing industry. So me and a friend of mine, Pat Sheeler, ex-UPSer, we actually bought a bunch of domains when nobody even really knew about it. I mean, they weren't actively pursuing it. That was when everybody waited on the Cabela's and the Bass Pro Shops catalog coming in the mail.
Yeah. So then when they decided we need a website, you literally said, okay, I'll give you the domain, but you have to sponsor fishok.com, and then I'll run your website for you as well, which is how you kind of got some relationships with the early businesses.
Some of those, that's how it happened. And then eventually we cut a deal, and I ended up selling the domain and everything to some of those companies. But yeah, that's how it started. The whole tournament coverage thing, you know how that started though, didn't you, with the Fish OK thing?
Yeah.
It started from the Sunday night jackpot that was at Uchi. That was the very first tournament report that ever appeared on the Bass Zone. Well, actually, it was Fish OK back then. And many people may not know this. Gene Gilliland, who was my neighbor in the neighborhood that I lived in, I didn't really know Gene a whole lot, but the formation of the whole thing actually took place in his kitchen kind of breakfast nook table. And we sat there for like 4 hours one night and talked about it and put the whole thing together. That was the beginning of everything, was that night at Gene's house. And it was weird too, because I didn't know Gene like a couple weeks prior to that. I knew he lived there because I saw him and his boat. And me and Gene laugh about this every time we go fishing. But I drove by, I got out of my truck, I walked up to him and I go, you're Gene Gilliland, right? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I live right over here, a block away. Is there any chance that you could hook me up with Ken Cook? I tried to get him to get me hooked up with Ken Cook because, Ken Cook was Bassmaster Classic champion, Hart Tackle, one of those Oklahoma companies back then. And Gene was kind of like, oh, he wants to get to Ken through me.
I got one of those around here too somewhere. I don't know where all my cool stuff went.
What was it?
A Hart spinnerbait. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know if they're still around. I don't think they are. Did you find it?
Yeah, for a guy who's done a lot of podcasts, you're not doing a great job of carrying the show while I look for it.
No, you got some stuff in there.
I do have an original. I did keep one of the lunker lures, the OG lunker lures.
Yeah. I thought about, the other thing is I thought about Rojas when I was frogging, and I thought about Freddie. I thought about
I think he just did something frog related. Like I saw a trophy, like he's still frogging.
Is he?
Yeah. And so's Dean. I mean, I think Dean makes more money on the frog, like instead of on the water nowadays. I think most of his frogging is done at the mailbox, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, more power to him, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's right. But it was just so exciting, dude. I must have made 2,000 casts, if not more.
Did you miss a lot, or would they get it?
Yeah. I missed a few. In fact, toward the end of the day, I probably had the biggest fish on that I had on the day. But I call it four-wheel fishing, man. You're trying to get those fish back when they're way, way up in the muck, and you're in four-wheel drive trying to maneuver those fish back to the boat. And he actually jumped, and I looked at Hamilton. I was like, ooh, that's the biggest one of the day right there. He goes, that fish is 5 pounds.
His name Hamilton. What was his last name?
Gray.
Hamilton Gray.
Hamilton Gray.
He sounds like a character in
he
sounds like a character in like a Mission Impossible or a
James Bond movie.
No, what was that one where it was there were like 4 of them. It was Matt Damon was in it. What was that movie? Hamilton Gray sounds like a character in the Matt Damon
Bourne. Jason Bourne.
Yeah, Jason the Bourne series, like the Bourne Ultimatum, the Bourne Supremacy, the Bourne Identity.
Yeah. No, cool dude, man. And he
we need to bring in our associates. Bring in Hamilton Gray.
And he walks in this, $1,200 Armani suit.
He just appears like he's untouchable. He's like they're ace in the hole.
Well, I was gonna say when we were talking about the reels, his dad custom builds rods, and all the fish that I caught were on one of these rods that his dad had custom built. And do you remember the concept of the wraparound eyes?
Yeah. Gary Klein was big on that for a while.
Yeah, that's the one I was using was that.
Did you like it?
It was good. I know I could cast it a mile.
Mm-hmm.
But just the anticipation of that violence on top of the water, it's every single cast. Every single cast, you think there's just going to be an explosion. Very rarely would they just come up and kind of, nip at it. I mean, it was full-blown attack mode. And there's only one frog trip that I've been on that was better than that, and that was that post-tournament day on Champlain.
I wasn't there for that.
Yeah. Me and Harold went to the chestnut fields down south of Ticonderoga. And
have you checked in on Harold recently?
I've not. Have you?
No.
That'd be a good.
There is no way in hell we're getting Harold to download any app or anything on StreamYard, and there's no way in hell where he lives out in Hemp Hill that it has internet service, nor that he would have any interest in doing it at all.
He might.
You want to pay? You want to pay for it? You
Hey,
wire him the show money. I say that all love it. Like Harold, I would absolutely love to have Harold on. I just don't think that's in the cards, to be quite honest.
Do you think we could ever have a wide open reunion?
I mean, it would just be me, you, and Harold.
I know. I think that would be cool. I mean, how many years has it been since all three of us have been together?
It's been a while.
Been a while.
Logan actually called and asked for his number the other day, and I sent it to him, and I forgot I still have him in the phone under Legend. Doesn't even say Harold Allen. It says Legend.
He's in the Hall of Fame, is he not?
Yeah. It's actually talks about how you gave him the nickname.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
On the placard. Do you know I had a mustache last week?
Why?
Oh no. Why not? I just figured I'd show it to you. I should probably just send it to you. Look at that thing.
Dude, that looks like you're in a Wham video or something back in the 80s.
You want to know how I got that? I have a flesh-colored mustache, and Court brought Just for Men over, so we darkened that sucker off. It was so good. I was so bummed because we have to take more engagement pictures at the end of the week. That's going to be my smallmouth mustache. What else you got?
Oh, that's an interesting comment. Yeah, Fred Smith recently passed away. You know who Fred is?
No.
He's the founder of FedEx.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you have any UPS versus FedEx stories when you were at UPS? Yeah. I mean, I have a few, but.
Have you seen Happy Gilmore 2 yet?
I just, we got home late Saturday night, and I was perusing Netflix and saw that it's out. Is it any good?
Yes and no. There's certain parts that I absolutely hated. There's a lot of it that I loved.
It's kind of like the Beverly Hills Cop movie that came out, when was it? Last year. Mm-hmm. That was Netflix only. It had some great parts, but then it just...
I'll say the movie was basically like one of my standard Bassmaster Open tournament days. Great game plan, starts out good, things are looking up, and then there's just a portion of it where it just kind of veers off course a little bit, maybe a few bad decisions, and then kind of gets back on track towards the end of the day.
Hey, I got
overall, it was great. Overall, great movie.
All right. I'm going to check it out. I got to tell you this, man. The bowling world and the fishing world have so much in common. So much in common now. Everybody is in an uproar about what is getting ready to take place. It looks like the governing body of bowling, of all bowling, is considering banning urethane. And social media is on fire about everybody's opinion about urethane. Urethane is kind of like the forward-facing sonar of bowling. You want it, you don't want it. This is what it impacts it. This is how it's ruining the game. It's exactly the same, Matt. No different. No different. So a lot of people are waiting for the decision on what's going to happen on whether or not they're going to ban urethane. Do we know what they're going to do with forward facing yet?
No, I haven't said anything. I don't even know. Like, my opinion doesn't matter worth crap. I just need to report on what they do and keep
Well,
my mouth shut. I have a
don't
real
want an opinion. I just wondered.
No, they haven't. But I have some opinions that I have not shared, and I don't think I will. You mentioned that in bowling.
Do what?
So you mentioned that in bowling. I thought it was like the two-handed thing. Was the two-handed thing more like the Alabama rig, and then the urethane is more like live scope?
This urethane thing has just recently exploded over the last couple of weeks. I mean, even the best player in the world has weighed in on it. And
okay. What does the best player in the world think?
He doesn't think they should ban it.
So, boy, this sounds really nerdy saying it out loud. It doesn't sound that way in my head. So I watched a documentary on screw it. So for a lot of years, no one got past level 29 in Tetris.
The game
Tetris.
Okay.
With the console. It's because of the way that the controller was held. Traditionally, once you got to level 29, you couldn't use your thumb fast enough to get the bar that you need 5 clicks over by the time it got to 29 to get the bar on the side. So game over. Then a individual figured out that you could hold the, if you're a Tetris nerd on here, I apologize if I butcher this. You could hold the controller a different manner, which allows you to get more clicks, right? So then he got it up to like level 50 or whatever. Then some individual figured out that you could hold the button on the top and then use your hands like this on the bottom, which would be like drrr, 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 and the record went from 29 to 50 to like level 150, like that. And
you watched the documentary on this.
100%. It's about this kid. I don't know. Can I show it on here without getting banned? Can I show it on here?
You're not going to get banned.
Oh, I don't make any money off of YouTube anyway. Screw it. I'm showing it. Here it is. It's a whole hour long, right? So you see this kid has a glove on right here. That's to reduce the friction so they can strum the controller at a faster rate.
It's called rolling.
Yes. So watch. Look at it. Look at his hand. Watch how he's doing it. See how he's moving his hand like that?
Yeah.
So that is like the live scope of controllers for Tetris, which completely changed. See how everyone's the way that the game is played, and brought in hundreds of new kids who the same Tetris guys were the best Tetris guys in the world for years and years and years and years and years. Right?
Okay.
Then for a period of time, once this new strumming rolling technique came out, new high record, people you'd never heard of, kids you'd never heard of, new high record. So that was like that for a couple of years, right? Because it was all new. Everyone was doing it. Then guess what the hell happened, Mark?
What happened?
It leveled out and the cream rose to the top. And now it's 3 or 4 guys that are vying for the $10 million mark or the bounty or the number of levels or to get through it all. So when it was new, when it was innovative, and it was boom, 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 just like we're seeing with LiveScope right now. But then it settled out later on as the technology. But guess what? Created a whole new crop of Tetris players who are now like Tetris is exploding again, like in the game because of this new technique. There's guys who use their thumbs. There's guys who don't, right? Like if you're an OG Tetris player who just holds the remote control like a dork, you're left in the dust. You're a dinosaur. You see what I'm saying here, Mark?
Yeah, I get it. I get the comparison. I can't believe your time is not valuable enough that you spent an hour watching it.
Because I wasn't planning on it until I started to see the comparisons between the bass fishing and the technology and the live scope and this. And then you mentioned it in bowling. It's in every single aspect, basically, of growing individual sport right now.
Yeah. And everybody's trying to get the edge, right? It's how are you going to get the edge? And if you look at the history of fishing, even when you go back to the 70s and the 80s, think about some of the stuff that was done by pros to get the edge. Right. I mean, as archaic as it sounds, but think about what Paul Elias did by getting to his knees and kneeling and reeling.
Right.
I mean, nobody did that. Nobody even thought of that, but he did it, and it became very valuable in his performance.
So should they take rolling out and go back to the thumb? Should they take
I have no idea.
Out and not? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I just wish sports in general would make a decision and move on. Just make a decision and don't let the thing just continue to fester, and you get all these people with all these opinions. And look, everybody pretty much knows what the strategy of whether or not to allow it or not to allow it. It's driven by money. This decision is driven by money. Agree or disagree?
I mean, everything on earth is driven by money.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're right. You're right. But this decision is truly an economic decision, and it covers a wide span of people, places, and things. And that's not an opinion on whether it should be allowed or not.
There's
allowed.
Stuff that's coming down the pipe soon, and it's just, everybody has their can of worms, right?
Yeah.
One of the organizations has said, this is what they're about to go from just having a can of worms to having a damn worm factory, and they don't have to. They could literally keep their can of worms, and it's fine, and it's their can of worms, but they're about to potentially, hypothetically, say, why deal with this can of worms when we could open up a whole damn worm farm?
Yeah.
And it makes absolutely no sense to me why they're doing it. And it's a classic case of the squeaky wheel gets the most grease, and it's bullshit.
So let me ask you this. Is it not a good situation? And once again, this is not for or against. I'm asking you a question about a situation. Is it not a fair and equitable and economic decision to allow it in some events and not allow it
because
in
that
others?
Is where the worm farm starts. Bass has made their MLF from the beginning has been whatever, they'll try anything, which they took a lot of flack for, but guess what? They stayed consistent with it, and they continued to change things. They've changed field size. They've changed days of competition, hours of competition, size of fish, number of fish, technology that's allowed or not allowed. They've changed it all consistently, and therein lies their consistency. The MPFL had to change it, had to make a business decision in order to separate themselves.
Which they did.
What people don't realize is 3 years ago, you consider them a viable professional fishing league. No, they're still not. It's still a pay to play. It's still like the Bassmaster Opens, but their viability is in their
product.
Yes. And decision to step out and do that, which is new.
Yep.
You also have another organization in Bass that has allowed it while curtailing it, that last year came out and said technology is part of the game. It has always been a part of the game, from KVD and Gerald Swindle pumping the Hydrowave to Clark Wenlett pumping LiveScope when it first came out, even though he's against him now that he retired and isn't with Garmin anymore. We don't even want to go down that whole thing. I'd love to have Clark on, though. That came off as a slight. It wasn't meant to be a slight. I'd love to have Clark on and talk about that, to where you had James Hall, you had a bunch of things on that said technology is part of it. It has been a part of it, is a tradition of it. It will continue to be a part of it. And that is what we are saying with this one, which the majority of the industry follows. Doesn't have to, but the industry goes as bass goes. Mm-hmm. And now this discussion is back on the table less than a year later, when you could put it to bed and say, hey, it's part of the industry. This is what it is. After you have 40% of your field that is qualified through the last 5 years with rapid rate, relying on not catching fish on this technology, but part of their game plan because it is applicable, just like it would be in bowling with a urethane ball.
Right.
Just like it would be in Tetris with the finger roll. Just like it would be in any other sport. And they're saying, let's go back and explore this and open this up to where now we're not like MLF, where we're consistently changing things. We're not like MPFL, where we're banning things, but now we look like we're trying to be like MLF while gaining the viewership of the NPFL audience, which now actually has a viewership, which puts you as the third fiddle, instead of saying, hey, we set it for this. It's been a part of it for the 8 years that it's been. We have relationships with electronics companies. We'll continue to monitor it in a way that it is. This is our standards, and we're continuing with it. If you don't like it, there is other options for you. Like, you don't have to have these people that just continually bitch about, oh, Bass and the live scope and the... Don't watch it. Go watch the MPFL. Go watch Major League Fishing. But guess what? Bass's numbers, based on what they're saying, are still good. And they're still watching it. And they still have participation in the levels. The live scope division of the Opens, 230 guys. The non-live scope division of the Opens, 130 guys. I think these leagues, a lot of these leagues in MLF think, hey, you get rid of the scope, well, people are going to come back in droves. No, they're not. They're not going to come back in droves. You know why? The majority of serious hardcore tournament anglers who have a future in this sport, who are going to spend money in this sport for the next 20 to 30 years, they've grown up fishing in the middle of the lake. They've grown up learning it, utilizing that technology. They're not cheating. It's not a cheater box. They're utilizing the technology and what they have, just like the guys who came up in the mid 2000s, the Jacob Wheelers, the Justin Lucas, got really good with side imaging. Mm-hmm. Just like the guys who grew up before that, and they got really good with flashers and things like that. Like, what you're doing is you are alienating a massive chunk that you don't have to alienate by making a change in your rules. You just have to be able to say, squeaky wheel isn't getting the grease just because it's squeaky, when we've got 3 really solid, good wheels here. We can just replace that damn wheel. We don't have to add grease to it. We don't have to change it. We can just get rid of that whole damn wheel. Just put a whole new one on. Now you got 4 great wheels on it. And you're going to have critics. But guess what? In today's day and age, you have critics in freaking everything. The tough decision right now is to keep it in a standard way, like they have for the past 7 or 8 years. Yeah. There might be, depending on who you listen to, 54% who's voted on a split or against it. Yeah. Guess what number that's going to be in next year, or the year after that, or the year after that? It's going to be 50%, then 40%, then 35%, then 30%. It's getting views right now, which is why the people are continually perpetuating it and doing it. And you've got a bunch of guys that are all going for what's good for them. Look at the average age of the anglers that are moving on to the BPT and that are in the top 50 of the Bassmaster Opens on that. 10 years ago, you want to talk about a dying sport? I saw someone on here who said it was a dying sport. It's not a dying sport. We have more talented young anglers who are making more money on a consistent basis than since I ever have been in this industry. Dude, you know how exciting it was for you in 2006 when you covered Derek Remitz, who was in his 20s, who went to won a tournament and finished second in it? It was unheard of for a young angler to come in and have success like that. Same with Casey Ashley when he won on Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia in 2007. That infused a lot of it. Now you have a lot of young anglers who are all learning, like teaching and putting it all in. Like, this is what you want in the sport.
So I'm getting the feeling that you're not a fan of 50-50.
No, I think it's bull. I think it's an easy way out. That adds so much more problems in the end. There is zero foresight in looking ahead at that. I think it's great for MLF because MLF is sticking with their blueprint.
But if everybody knew the event that was taking place was a forward-facing event, you still have to work on your game. I mean, you still have to become so much better at forward-facing sonar as a professional. Yeah, I mean, you have to. You can't just you either learn how to use it, spend time on the water, get the reps in.
Then quit watching. You post a comment about how much you hate the show every single day, Steve. You leave a comment on YouTube about how horrible I am at it. Then don't watch the show. Go watch something else. Go watch Mercer. Go watch Duncan. Go watch Serious Angler. Go listen to Randy Blockett on replay. I don't know why you listen to the show every day for the last 5 years if you hate it so much. I'm sorry. I'm on a full-on rant.
Did you? This is role reversal here. Anyway, you don't talk about it on the show every day?
I've never talked about it. That is the first rant that I've talked about, and it was exceptionally therapeutic for me.
Well, I'm glad I could help. I mean,
can I post the replay? I don't think I've said anything that I can't post. Do you?
No. So, but let me ask you this: if in any sport, if the athlete knows what is expected of them to have success, and they know what it's going to take to have success, then whose fault is it that they don't have success?
It's a
rhetorical
question.
It's the athlete, right?
Matthew, you're correct. He's a true fan of the show. I did go on a rant about bass breaks. Power breaks.
So what I'm saying is no matter what the sport is, just like bowling, just like Tetris, just like anything, if something has happened in the sport from a technology side, from a rule side, it's just like in baseball, pitchers have the time clock on them now. Okay, well, some pitchers had to adapt. If they couldn't adapt to the pitch clock, well, then they were going to get sent down to the minors. You have to adapt to what the conditions are calling. Dude, I said this a long, long time ago. Any sport, it's a matter of choice. And the choice that you made is based upon what the rules are. And if you make the choice that this is what you want to do, then sure, you can voice your concern and voice your opinions and all that, but they're telling you what you got to do if you want to have success. They're telling you what the playing field is. They're telling you what the rules are. Okay? And if you don't want to deal with it now, from a fishing standpoint, you have options. Do you not, Matt?
1,000% you have options.
All right, you have options. So whatever they decide, based upon whatever input they have taken, if they've received input, if they've wanted input, maybe they want to make the decision and you're giving all the input that you want, but they've already decided on what they're going to do. Then you know what? You have a choice. You can either do it or not do it. And a lot of players have chosen not to do it. Why? Because they have options. You have options. Take advantage of those options and do what you feel you can prepare yourself as an athlete to put yourself and your team, if you're in a team sport, in the position to win and be successful. All right. Now, have I said anything wrong?
No. Here's a question, Matt. Ignoring relationships with electronics companies, what do you think Bass really wants to do?
They don't want to do that.
I think, listen, Bass wants, it's for profit. So Bass wants to obviously be profitable so they could stick around. I want Bass to be profitable. If I decide to fish with Bass, I want Bass to be so profitable that it's the most stable thing that there's no way that anything is going to happen to it because they're so happy with their business model. So that being said, I genuinely think bass, what is also good for Bass's business, is happy anglers. Anglers that feel like they are paying their hard-earned entry fee, that they're putting their family and their life on the line with an organization where you have a symbiotic relationship. So Bass, I genuinely think, wants their anglers to feel heard, to be happy, to be able to make solid living and have stability on it. I don't think Bass, I know for a fact, Bass is not out to screw anglers, to kick them off arbitrarily, to make their lives harder. They want happy anglers who are glad to be on that platform, who are adding value to the Bass brand, which in turn brings sponsors to Bass, which makes Bass stronger, and everybody's happy. That's what I really think Bass wants.
Yeah, what do you got to do, man? You got to take care of the anglers, you got to take care of your business, and you got to take care of the sponsors. All right. And then the fourth element is, dude, you got to take care of the fans. All right. Those are the four elements in this industry that is going to make a successful product. Now, once again, let me go back to the options. All right. Everybody has the options right now. Everybody has options.
And they're still watching Bass.
My concern might possibly be put the see the, what is it, N8 Fishing and Music comment? Do we accept all tech advancements in bass fishing? I'm sure we're going to have some AI stuff that's coming that's going to suck.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But the forward-facing bridge has already been crossed.
Yes, but
and Bass has said we're going to fortify this bridge.
Dude, what's going to happen when the technology gets to the point? Because, I mean, AI is a great thing. All right. It's also a really scary thing. Mm-hmm. What happens when they're able to program units to where the angler doesn't have to do anything except look at the screen? And that software actually does everything. It actually moves.
Hands for you, finds this. Finds their return signature.
Coming. I'm telling you, that's coming.
There needs to be listen, I know Bass has a tech committee, but let's put a hypothetical hat on here. If I was running that organization, I would invest money in a couple individuals whose sole job was to get ahead of what is coming, because we've seen what happens when you're behind it, right? You become reactionary.
Yeah.
You're reacting to what's happened, and then that ship has already sailed. Like when Scott Martin is on the FLW tour and he's on in Kentucky throwing a jerkbait on Cumberland, and you're going, okay, why is he making 15-foot casts with a jerkbait and saying he's about to catch one, and then he's catching one? Or when Jason Christie is out cracking a tube in 2018 on Lake St. Clair and he's scoping drum and giant smallmouth, like that should have already been on everyone's radar, right? There should have already, when that happened, already been discussions of how are we going to work with this new technology. So like now having that, I would have some people on my staff who are way smarter than me technology wise, maybe work for tech companies in the past. Maybe they don't even fish. Maybe they're gamers. Maybe they just understand how this stuff works, right?
Yeah.
Who can come to me and say, hey, here's a report. Here's what we've got coming down the pipeline. Here's what I think is coming down the pipeline. Then you can get with your team, you can get with your organization and say, okay, how are we going to handle this? So now you're not reactionary like you were with it 8 years ago. That to me would be a valuable asset to my organization.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's, I see quite a few comments about, don't change the thing, change it. Right now, I think the biggest thing is that guys and girls have options. They have options.
I think it's key. Like, you keep changing it year to year, but you're not, like, I'm taking MLF out of the equation. That's like a whole different animal, right? Like, everyone I think is at this point is just accepted. Like, who knows what they're going to do? It'll be interesting. But I think, like, you really want to put this to bed. You make your stance on what it is going to be going forward into the future. And then in the short term, you deal with the pissed off people. But guess what? MLF dealt with that for a half decade.
Yeah.
Do you see any of that hate or stuff now? No, they kept changing things. They kept switching things up. They kept doing it. They took the hate in stride. They understand they made. But I'm saying, like, it's almost like Bass is trying to placate or avoid making a finite decision in order not to have to deal with the short-term backlash. But as a response, they're just dealing with backlash 100% of the time now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. When is the season over?
They got two more tournaments, like a month.
So do you agree that the month following the final event, do you agree or disagree? They need to make a decision as quickly.
Yeah, I think the decision is coming out in the next couple of weeks. Listen, I would love to have, well, after that rant, Chase may not want to come on BTL, but I would love to have Chase. Like, I don't think I wasn't ripping Bass at all.
No. No. It was kind of a semi-opinion piece, but taking into consideration the options that are available, I'm still going to fall back on that. Look, I got no skin in the game. I mean, I'm totally out of it. And I've said this before the few times that I've been on. It's like I watch it now as a fan, not as an angler, not as somebody in the business. And the options that the fans have right now is great. As long as they have the technology. I mean, obviously, the MPFL, you have to watch online and watch the live stuff and all that. But and what MLF is doing, they're just gonna keep going. The other thing too, Matt,
use the internet.
Me and Hamilton, we talked a little bit about this too. Is the way that people can voice their opinions now is, quite honestly, and has been for a while, out of control. It's out of control. And so much of it is noise. So I'm going to fall back on what I've said year after year after year. If you're going to make a decision, make sure you take care of those 4 people that are involved in having a successful business. Those 4 things. Take your company, make it profitable, take care of your customers, which in this case are the anglers, take care of your companies that are paying you, in this case are the sponsors, and then take care of your fan base. Give them what they want. Give them what they want. Now, I could go on a rant about certain things that take place for the fans that I think is way out of line for some of the stuff that they're doing, because I think they're driving away fans, because a lot of times you already know what the outcome is. It's like, I don't want to watch that anymore. They got a 20-pound lead or whatever. But, I mean, that's a totally different discussion. But take care of those 4 things, and things will be better. Somebody made the comment, the technology is going to advance. And even if they make a decision here in a couple of weeks, like you say, Matt, there's going to be more decisions that are going to have to be made as the technology continues to improve.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's why I'm saying that way. Like, I mean, you got to get out ahead of what's coming. So you've already thought about it for 6 months to a year and understood what's happening before it happens, and you can't be reactionary.
You know what's funny? Do you remember Pinpoint? Does that name ring a bell at all?
No.
I wonder if anybody out there remembers the company called Pinpoint. Pinpoint was cutting edge technology at the time. now this was 25, 30 years ago, that the trolling motor was programmed that it would actually follow the contours.
Oh, that still exists, dude.
Huh?
That still exists. Now there's drift mode. Now you go waypoint to waypoint and it keeps you at 1.2 miles an hour in the same angle. But heaven forbid we put trolling motors on the back of our power poles.
All right, get off your rant on that and let me go back to what I'm trying to say. All right. This is 30 years ago. There was not an uproar with that technology. In fact, a lot of the technology was not used on tour because the trolling motor was tied into the graph, and it was really, really cool. Alan McGuckin, we all know Alan. Hopefully everybody knows Alan. I mean, he was involved in that from the start. But that was 30 years ago, and it never really caught on. And part of the reason why it didn't catch on was there were key people that didn't have a lot of success with it. Okay, and they had some challenges with the technology and all that and everything. But think about the distribution of what people thought of that product 30 years ago. There wasn't any. Some fans didn't even know about it. You know, it wasn't really mentioned. It wasn't highlighted. But in this day and age, you do anything, it gets blown up. And it gets blown up because of the technology environment that we're in. I think that if they would have launched Pinpoint during the technology age, that everybody would have been in an uproar. That's cheating, you know, blah, 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 and all this and everything. But in that day and age, that is the greatest example that I can give where something like that was created when you didn't have the verbal distribution of people being upset 30 years ago. It wasn't there. Yeah, I mean, obviously, once again, people, I'm talking about this is a long, long time ago when, you know, flashers and graphs were the primary thing, and then this Pinpoint thing came along. Man, there's some vocal people. I didn't know we were going on this, dude. I just wanted to let everybody know that instead of being in Texas, you need to go to Maine.
Listen, I wasn't planning on doing it. I literally said I wasn't going to, and then I ended up doing it.
Is it because of me? It's total role reversal, man. Mark,
should I nix the replay?
I'm telling you, if the internet and everything that was available when Pinpoint first came out with that technology, people would have been in an uproar. Even though the technology really wasn't dialed in that much, it was still something. There was another comment like 30 minutes ago about the Fosbury flop. You know how many people were outraged when it came to
I don't know what that is.
The Fosbury flop?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
He was the one that created the reverse kind of back jump on the high jump. In other words, when the high jump bar, everybody would go forward. The Fosbury flop, you would go backwards. You would jump and go back. And everybody was outraged at the way that Fosbury was doing the high jump now. Now it's like standard protocol. You have nobody that jumps over the high bar forward. It's all back stuff. So that's a good comment. Whoever said that. Great comparison there. That's funny. Welcome to the internet. Everybody is pissed about everything. Yeah. You know?
Me included. I mean, I wasn't pissed about. I'm not like.
I don't think you're mad. I think you are just. I literally think that you want the best for all parties involved.
It just makes so much sense. It seems so easy to me. It just seems so. And like, listen, and that is the main question. Taking the influence of the electronics companies out of it, right? That's the best way to answer that question, because now you're dealing just with the raw competition and the members.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Matt. What do you think would happen Here's a scenario. What do you think if Bass made the decision that they were not going to renew the sponsorship with any electronic company? The sales force that they have went out and absolutely kicked butt and brought in an additional $2 million, of which 1.5 of that is going back to the prize fund for the anglers. No forward-facing sonar, no live scope. You guys just use standard electronics, but we're going to add 1.5 million to the prize fund. What's the feedback then?
I mean, dude, you've got 40% of your field that I'm not saying are on tour because of scoping, but it's like
That's not what I'm asking. Okay.
I mean, more.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking is if Bass worked their tail off, all right, and went out and got an additional $2 million and gave 1.5 million of that money to the anglers, but they said, you know what, we're not dealing with this anymore. No forward-facing sonar. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you an additional 1.5 million in the prize fund. Now, what are their thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, if my aunt had a beard, she'd be my uncle.
I mean, is it not about money? I keep saying that. Is this thing truly about money? Because the guys that are winning are using the forward-facing sonar.
I mean, you're saying that, but Wes Logan didn't use, like, Bill Lowen didn't use it. Wes Logan didn't use it. Like, there's a bunch of guys that didn't know.
So, basically what I'm asking is, if you increase the prize fund $1.5 million, would those guys care? They would still be outraged that they couldn't use forward-facing sonar?
I think the same issues. I think the same. I don't think you'll ever be able to make everyone happy in this, because you're dealing with 100 individual sole proprietors. What I think you need are all 100 to know what's coming and to accept it and to be able to make a good living at it and have sustainability and know what they need to do in order to stay on and know what the repercussions are if they don't catch them. I don't think you have to have everybody thrilled with the decisions, but the decisions need to be consistent. The decisions need to be well thought out and not just on a yearly or reactionary basis.
Yeah.
The decisions have to reflect the strength of the organization to take a stand, even if that stand is to say, look, you know, this was something we maybe should have been aware of 7-8 years ago that we could have looked at, but you know, as it stands now, it is part of the sport, and that's what I think would make anglers happy, not more money. I mean, obviously more money would help. That's been from day one of bass fishing. It's been more money. Listen, I'm sure on Irwin Jacobs FLW tour days, guess what guys bitched about? That they had to wear their team jersey on the final day, and they were fishing for $1 million in the Forest Wood Cup, and they were fishing for hundreds of thousands of dollars through invitationals and tour events. And they had the deepest payout with the most team deals and the most guys and trucks and boats and everything that was getting paid for. Yeah. And they still bitched about going to Beaver Lake every year. They still bitched about it being the Shaky Head Tour. They still bitched about guys having favoritism. They bitched about the guys and team deals. And they complained about not being able to use their boats and jerseys on the final day.
Yep. Great example. All right. But what was better than any time in the history of the sport? The money.
The money and the ESPN era on bass, where a ton of the anglers complained about the favorites and how bass pushed different guys and all that. But like, have you read Newell's book?
I have not.
I need to give it to you. Bass Logos and Fishing Pros. That's kind of the era that he really focuses on. Newell does, like the golden age in there.
It was awesome. It was so much fun.
I need to next time I see you, I need to give you that book so you can read.
Okay. Man, I didn't mean to. Hopefully I didn't bring this out in you. And dude,
it's been like building.
You didn't say anything bad, all right? It was weird. You gave your opinion, but in a different way. So I wouldn't be concerned with that. But I just think that the announcement needs to come out and people need to move on. This whole thing, you just need to move on. Move on. That's why I wish they'd make the decision about the urethane thing in bowling and just move on. Okay, here's what you got to do to get better. All right. Wait, what is that? Mark is saying, how would they respond?
He was asking how they respond with the same payouts, but no. Mark is saying, how would they respond with the same payouts, but no electron? No,
that's not what I'm saying.
You're saying how would they respond with no forward facing, but $1.5 million more in the payouts? Yeah.
In other words, you supplement the money that the electronics companies are paying, and maybe they want to still be involved.
You also have to understand, like, I've spent some time around these young kids now, right? Like, I'm a 40-year-old that's competing in the Opens, that's in 150th place right now, that is an advocate for forward-facing sonar. So just saying, oh, yeah, you guys won it because you catch them, not true. But I got to spend time around JT Tompkins and Trey McKinney and Kyle Patrick, who I think is doing a little bit. He had like this weird tick thing that attacked his heart. I don't know if he's going to be able to fish it. And a little bit with Cooper, but like I can keep naming all these young kids. Like, none of them ever bring up money. Now you can say, oh, it's because they're all rich kids who just got to go out and fish with a boat. Different. None of them bring up money because they are driven by success. They want titles. They want championships. They want top tens. They want trophies. I don't hear them going out and saying, oh, I can't wait to go make $100,000. I hear him going out and saying, I want the damn trophy.
That's all fine and great, but the viable resources that are necessary from a financial standpoint to be able to do this, the financial pressures. If you're telling me that these guys are not feeling any of the financial pressures,
no, they are. I'm just saying that I don't think it's the only driving factor.
Well, who doesn't want to win? I mean, who doesn't want a blue trophy? That's kind of a given from a perspective of they're doing. And I tell my kids this all the time, man. There's a difference between getting beat and losing. All right, when you lose, you don't do anything to prepare yourself, to put yourself in the best position to win. Now, if you're out there at the highest level, all right, it doesn't matter which one of the 3 tours that you're doing. If you're not preparing yourself to put yourself in a position that gives you the best opportunity to win, then you shouldn't be out there. Because you know what you're going to end up doing? You're going to end up losing. Now, if you go out and you catch 96 pounds, but the dude that ends up winning the tournament caught 105, and you just didn't catch a couple of key situations, you didn't lose, you got beat. Because you did everything necessary to put yourself in a position. I don't agree with that statement about what you're saying, that all these kids are interested in winning. Fine, that might be in the back of their mind. But, dude, if you're at that level, and if you're not in that mindset before you ever arrive to the rant for practice, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. And if you're telling me that those kids, the younger kids, are not thinking about money, you don't think that those kids are thinking about money because they know it's an end result of putting in the time and the effort to placing themselves in the best position to win. Dude, it's not about what you do when you get to the lake. It's about what you do prior to getting there that puts yourself in a position to be able to do what's necessary to win. Whether it's forward-facing, flipping boat docks, whatever it is. But that is your responsibility if you have that mindset that I will never lose. All right? I might get beat, but I'm never going to lose. And I think that is the mentality that a lot of these kids have. Mm-hmm. But to sit there and say that nobody at the highest level of fishing is not thinking about the money,
I'd say no.
Is ludicrous.
No.
If they're just out there because they want to win trophies and medals, that's a bunch of bunk. They're not doing it.
I would agree. I mean, Chris Johnson fished the Invitational on the St. Lawrence because he wanted to win and he wanted the trophy. He also wanted the $80,000.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to win, go fish the freaking fruit jar tournament on a Wednesday night. Hey, I won. I felt good about it. But no, you're competing at the highest level. And if you don't put yourself in a position based upon what the limitations and guidelines are of whatever sport that you're competing in, do the work before you ever enter the game.
And that's the thing. Like, these kids have done the work. Like Miles said, he heard, Banks Shaw's put 600 hours on his motor in 9 months. He's done the work.
He's doing the work.
Like, doesn't matter what he's doing it with or how he is doing it. He is doing the work and he is being rewarded by it.
Yeah. So, you know what? I think when I did the Mark After Dark, I mean, I was not stressed out. I was just overwhelmed by what I was doing that week. And I was like, all right. And I think I started out the first thing by saying, I am tired of people complaining. I'm just tired of people complaining because there's two things that you can do. One, you got a choice. You got a choice. Okay. And two, if you truly love whatever you're involved in, then figure out how to get better. And in this day and age, people don't want to do that. They want to snap their fingers and magically things are going to be better. Magically, I'm going to be great at forward-facing sonar. Magically, I'm going to be great at using a urethane bowling ball. All right? They do not have the work ethic to do what it takes to win. Because you know what the playing field is. You know what you have to do to put yourself in a position to win. And it doesn't matter what sport it is. All right? So stop complaining and put in the work to get it done. That's what you got to do. Agree or disagree, Matt?
I agree. I think we end it right there. That's a great stopping point.
All right. By the way, man, folks, you need to get to the state of Maine. All right? You need to get to the state of Maine. I cannot tell you how amazing that trip was. And check out, you should have Hamilton on the show. Are you still doing the guide thing?
I haven't done one in like 2 or 3 weeks. I've got one literally scheduled for Wednesday, though.
You need to get him on. All right? You need to get him on. And I'm
emotionally exhausted after today's show.
Yeah. Great dude. And man, some of the food that I had, Matt, I can't taste it. It sucks. But I just, the creativeness that a lot of these small towns had with food, it was, all right. And we did the Zillow thing. All right. Somebody talked about the realtor. We did the Zillow thing. How much is that one? 1.5. How much is that one? 2.7. How much is that one? 1.9. Dude, a 450 square foot house.
Use all that BTL money.
Whatever. Okay. Ocean View. How much? 450 square feet.
We already did this. We already played this game. I nailed it. Like 1.5 mil.
Yeah. Just insane. So, man, this was a great show, man. And don't feel like you did anything wrong. You didn't. All right, you didn't, and this is kind of like the old days. And I know people have said, "Hey, you should come on once a quarter or whatever." Our season's getting ready to kick off. This is a really important season for us. But be proud of what you've done. Sell some UPS stock.
Yeah. So here's why I think it ends up happening with you, because, like, I wouldn't want, like, I try to, BTL is a platform for a guest to come on, right? And I wouldn't want to put Miles or Matt Steffen or Andrew or anybody in a position where they have to take like they have to give like an uncomfortable take, right?
You shouldn't.
Yeah. So I don't ever really have. And then I also go through the phase like, well, no one cares what I think about this stuff. Like, I'm just a freaking dude. Like, you talk, like, I have no, like, who cares what I think?
Yeah.
Like, what, like, why? Like, I'm going to provide the platform, have an entertaining, educate, and engaging show. Like, there's no need for people to hear me go off on my personal thoughts and theories. And if I jump on someone else's show and they ask me about it, then, like I did Bartuzek's show, had some opinionated things on there, but they're asking like my opinion on here, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a different form. So I guess like when you're on the show, it's kind of like the only outlet to get some thoughts on my brain that I wouldn't want to like burden on a guest who's like, my God, like, I came on to talk about the bait that I just won on and what a great tournament I just had. And now I'm 2 hours and 20 minutes into this guy's having an existential crisis on air.
Hey, dude, if you want to have me on once every 4 months, 3 months, I'm game for that. And we can have our therapy section, because, man, who knows what's going to happen this year for me. It is going to be a very, very high expectations year for the guys team. We're 2 weeks away from them being on campus, and I got a plan, and learned a lot from last year, and can't wait, man. Can't wait. Expectations are very, very high. All right. You good? When we going fishing?
So I got a text from Mike today. He said truck will be done today, but late afternoon. Oh, he's going to pick me up from the rental car place.
Can we go this week?
Probably not. I have to get all new truck tires and all new boat tires since when I torqued that.
Yeah.
When I had that axle.
Can we go next week? All right.
Yeah, we have to go next week because I have to get ready, because then I leave on the 7th for Leech.
All right. So next week it is.
Dennis would like to know if there's SNU merchandise available yet.
Yeah, it's getting ready. The store is going to be open in a couple weeks. It's going to be open in a couple weeks. The other thing is you know what we're doing this year, Matt? We're doing an alternate jersey for for cancer awareness.
Oh, sweet.
It's going to be black and pink. It looks really cool. And this was a great show, Matt. Chuck is right.
2 hours and 22 minutes of it.
Yeah, that's epic. It's a good job.
I feel like the rant is buried enough to where die hard. Well, I mean, there's a that's part of the benefit of not doing any social media promotion of your show.
Yeah.
A lot of the best stuff is buried. So.
No, it's all good. Hey, just in case anybody would like to come by and say hi that's in the Michigan area, I leave Friday for Detroit. Big recruiting event taking place in Detroit Saturday and Sunday at the world famous Thunder Bowl in Detroit, Michigan. So if anybody wants to come by and say hi, I will be there both days.
Dude, you would be shocked, and I could be in an echo chamber at how many people feel the same way that I just voiced, but just the benefit for them to vocalize it just isn't there.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man.
All right, Mark.
All right, next week though. Next week, not this week, but next week we're going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Crappie fishing.
What are your shirts? I just went and caught the crappie and they're brush pile crappie. Like, we're not going to catch any big ones. It's meat haul. I just went and caught 46 with juice on Saturday morning.
Wow.
But no giants. What shirt are you rocking? It looks kind of cool.
Oh, it's Bayside Bowl.
That's an awesome logo.
Yeah, it's where the PBA league was for years. It is probably the most impressive bowling center I've ever seen. It's only 20 lanes, but it's completely encapsulated in a sports bar.
Oh, phenomenal.
And it's got 2 levels, and they've got a bar on the top, on the roof, restaurant. It's hopefully the PBA will go back there. Very nostalgic.
Little inside glimpse here. Do you want to see what I was doing last night? How did I manage to do that? Okay, there we go. All photos. So that is what my entire kitchen counter looked like last night.
Okay.
All a couple hundred packs of Sakamadas. And then that is kind of what I got it down to. So those are all like in specific packs. And then that is what's going back in the boat. So that's all that.
You did get organized.
And then I even went through the old jerk plug box and got that just absolutely immaculate.
Nice.
So
very nice. All right, dude, man. Thanks for having me on, everybody. Shameless plug. I will let you know, Matt, when the merch store is open.
All right, sounds good. See you, Mark.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, and with that, this has been another edition of Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish. If you want more industry insight from a guy who has perspective that nobody else in this industry has, we got Rick Pierce tomorrow. It's BTL. We'll talk to everyone then. See ya.